The sun was setting over a quiet neighborhood as Officer James wrapped up what he thought would be another routine shift. The soft hum of his patrol car filled the silence, until it was broken by a sound that froze him in place, the desperate cry of a child. He turned his head just in time to see a little girl, no older than 6, racing toward his car. Tears streaked her cheeks. Her small hands shook as she tried to speak through sobs. Her pink dress was crumpled, her hair messy as though she had been running for some time. With a trembling voice, she pleaded, "Please, follow me home." The look in her eyes, fear mixed with desperation and a glimmer of hope, told James this was no ordinary moment. This was a cry for help, and he knew he couldn't ignore it. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and compassion, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Talks. Your support helps us bring heartfelt stories like this to life. James stepped out of the car and knelt to her level, assuring her she wasn't alone. The little girl tugged on his hand urgently, leading him down narrow suburban streets. She hardly spoke, only glancing back to make sure he was following. The deeper they went, the more uneasy James felt. Aging homes with peeling paint, a heavy silence in the air, and an unsettling stillness all around. Finally, they arrived at a small house. The yard was overgrown, the front door slightly ajar. The girl pointed inside, whispering that her mother wouldn't wake up. James' chest tightened as he entered. The living room was dim, cluttered with empty containers, unpaid bills, and the stale scent of neglect. Following the girl, he stepped into a bedroom where a young woman, barely in her 20s, lay motionless on the bed. He quickly checked her pulse. She was alive, but her breathing was shallow. This wasn't sleep, she needed urgent medical care. As James called for an ambulance, he gently kept the girl talking to calm her. Her name was Emily. Through sobs, she explained that her mother had been sick for days. She had tried to help, even attempted to make soup, but she was too small. She had stayed by her mother's side until fear pushed her to run for help. That's when she spotted James' patrol car. Paramedics arrived swiftly, rushing the young woman, Sarah, to the hospital. Emily clung to James' uniform, refusing to let go. He promised to stay with her, driving her to the hospital and holding her hand as they waited for news. Hours passed under the sterile hospital lights until a doctor finally explained Sarah had collapsed from exhaustion, dehydration, and untreated pneumonia. She had been working multiple jobs, sacrificing her own health just to care for Emily. James couldn't stop thinking about their home. The bills, the emptiness, the quiet suffering Sarah had endured alone. Emily sat silently, hugging her knees, eyes searching the hallway for her mother. James knelt beside her, promising things would get better. Over the next few days, as Sarah slowly recovered, James visited often. Emily began to smile again, finding comfort in his presence. He learned that Sarah had been abandoned by Emily's father, left to raise her daughter on her own without family nearby. She had taken cleaning jobs, late shifts, doing everything she could to survive, while hiding her struggles from the world. James knew that once Sarah left the hospital, their hardships would return. Quietly, he reached out to charities, neighbors, and his fellow officers. Within days, donations of food, clothing, and funds came pouring in. When Sarah finally returned home, she found it cleaned, stocked with groceries, and even repairs underway. Overwhelmed with tears, she realized she wasn't alone anymore. Emily's smile was brighter than ever as she hugged her mother. Then James, whispering a soft, "Thank you," he would never forget. Word of Emily's courage and the community's compassion spread through the neighborhood. People began checking in regularly, making sure Sarah and Emily had the support they needed. Sarah soon found a steady job that allowed her more time with her daughter, and the bond between them grew even stronger. One evening, as James stood outside watching Emily laugh and play in the yard while Sarah spoke with neighbors, he realized this was more than a rescue. It was proof of hope, of how even the smallest voices, like Emily's plea that night, can spark life-changing kindness. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Talks. Together, we can keep spreading powerful reminders that kindness is alive in this world.